Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rambling RunOff. I am your host, Robert Rios. Here to give you the sports news I think you should hear. And yes, I know we've been gone for a little bit, and we're giving you a special episode today. As you can see, it is not just a regular episode, but a Podium show episode. Yes, you heard me correctly. A Podium show episode, which we have not done in a while. But of course, with me to help go through all of this is my co-host, Mr. Danny Tan. Danny, say what's up to everybody.
What up, y'all?
And for this Podium show, we'll be going over the upcoming Canelo Alvarez Crawford fight that's coming this weekend. And to help us through this boxing endeavor, we have a special guest today, someone that me and Danny have known for a very long time. His name is Odan Contreras. Odan, can you say what's up to everybody?
Hello, everyone. Hello, every viewer, listener out there. It's a pleasure being here, and I just can't wait to have a great time.
Yeah, thanks, Odan, for joining us today. Just to let everybody know about Odan, he runs a very popular TikTok page. If I am saying this correctly, it's OJC boxing, correct?
That is correct.
And yeah, I believe, let me look at my notes here real quick before we dive into. You currently have, what do you got here? 22.7 thousand followers. Is that correct?
I believe that is correct.
Yeah, so Odan knows a little bit about boxing, and yeah, he's a boxing head, and he's gonna be helping us, preview this weekend's fight. How's that sound to you, Odan?
That sounds great. And just to let everyone know, I just know just a little. I know boxing is a big sport. I am a huge boxing fan, but when it comes to knowing about boxing, I would consider myself someone who knows just a little.
I mean, that's what most novice sports fans are. Very casual sports fans are. That's what me and Danny are, but we just decided to do a podcast about it and hope people like it, right, Danny?
Yes, sir.
No, but yeah, we're glad that you're here, Odan, and just to let you know, Odan, and everyone else know, you're the first interviewee we've ever had on the show.
Yes, first live guest.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hope it's not the last, and hope there's more to come.
Like, we've had other people do a little bit of co-hosting, but we've never done like an interview, like, hey, what do you know about this type of thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is this your first podcast you ever been on, by the way? I forgot to ask you that earlier.
I believe regarding like boxing and like the theme of like sports, yes, I've been in other ones, but like different topics. But specifically talking about like the sport of boxing, this is my first one.
Okay, I mean, just word of advice, just be relaxed, just have fun with it.
Hey, why are you making them nervous? What the hell?
Hey, yo,
we're just a couple of homies chatting about sports. Dude,
I'm about to leave.
Chill.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, yo, man, I'm just making sure he feels comfortable. Why do you think I asked him? He had water. He had something to drink.
Yeah, and just for everyone out there listening, I do feel very comfortable.
Look, see, Danny?
Not because of Rob. It's because of me.
Because of Danny.
All right.
Thank you, Alon.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess, Dan, do you want to just start going right into it, or do you have any questions for Odan here before we get this going?
I just want to give a little bit of background of Odan. Known him for a long ass time.
Yo, for real.
Outside of the sports stuff, long ass time. He's a good friend. You know, life happens. You know, we're damn near 30 years old already, and
reconnecting
reminder. Hey, it's just the truth here. You know, we say nothing but truth.
Pure facts most of the time.
But yeah, life has a funny way of bringing people back together. So, let's talk about these two guys about to beat the shit out of each other.
Well, I would like to point out as well, Odan has been asking to be on the show for like the longest time.
Yeah, I pretty much had to beg them to put me on the show.
Okay, he not beg, but we saw the opportunity and we were like, okay, it's time.
It's time to talk about boxing.
It's true.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. But let's hop right into it. What's the big fight again? Nah, just kidding.
Dang.
We got Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford this Saturday, September 13, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. PDT, 5 p.m. PDT. The main event ring walkouts approximately will begin at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The location of the fight is Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. You can comfortably watch this fight on Netflix. And yeah, we do have not a sponsor. And yes, the fight card. Below I have it as Muhammad Al-Khail versus John Ornelas for the lightweight. Christian Mabili versus Lester Martinez for the super middleweight. Calum Walsh versus Fernando Vargas Jr. in the junior middleweight division. And then finally, the Canelo Alvarez-Terence Crawford super middleweight fight. Gentlemen, who would like to take the floor first? As I am probably the most novice out of the three of us on combat sports. Who would like to take the floor first and give their thoughts on this fight?
I think we should give the guest honors. Hold on, if you want to take a little bit. If not,
yeah, give us your initial thoughts
regarding like the main event or the undercards.
The main event, please.
I think it's a great event. I think it's rare, even though we've seen it recently. But when we see two undisputed champions fight each other, I think it's something that doesn't happen often, and especially when both fighters are known to be dominant in not just one weight class, but in 4 divisions. So I think we're up to a good show, and based on their fighting styles, stylistically, we're gonna see an entertaining fight.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I'm by doing research, people are billing this up as fight of the century. By all accounts, would you agree with that statement, Odan?
I would agree, and I would feel more comfortable agreeing once we see the fight, because I think right now, it's good promotion, but it would be nice to have like a chat after the fight, so then we could just go based off comments we previously stated. But I do think, based on like the facts, based on the numbers, the data, their statistics, I do think this might be the fight of the century.
Okay. I mean, we do have 2 heavy hitters. Canelo is defending his titles against the undefeated pound-for-pound fighter Terence Bud Crawford, who currently have a record of 41-0, 31 KOs, against Canelo's 63-2-2, who also has 39 knockouts. But yeah, it should be a good fight. Danny, you want to read the tail of the tape for me real quick?
Yes, sir. Got Canelo Alvarez, age 35, standing at 5'7.5", 168 pounds, with a reach of 70.5 inches, versus Terence Crawford, undefeated, age 37, standing at 5'8", at 168 pounds, with a outstanding reach of 74 inches.
No, yeah, I mean, I feel like they're somewhat evenly matched. Within my research, people are saying that Crawford, had to go up for this, and I guess people are saying that he's not big enough, but I also did see people saying that they're equally sized, which kind of makes a little bit of sense. But I don't know, I think I'd have to see them side by side in the ring to get a better image, I guess you could say. I don't know, what do you guys think? Size-wise.
I agree. Size-wise, they do look similar. Like based on like the recent face-offs, like the one they just had yesterday in Las Vegas on Monday, September 8th. But when it comes to being in the ring, I believe we are gonna see that the bigger person, body-wise, will be Canelo.
No, yeah, I figured, because I mean, he's a pretty built-up dude, and like, I don't know, like, just looking at him, he has so much muscle mass around his arms and his shoulders. I think it's pretty daunting if you're any boxer going up against him.
Right. Yeah. I think Canelo's been kind of sitting at this weight for a little bit. He's a lot more comfortable, and like you said, Odan, Crawford's fighting style, it's gonna be really interesting because I think he's gonna keep the same fighting style, even though I assume, especially in the early rounds, he's gonna be like a little more tentative, like coming in and out and stuff. But I think that's gonna play right into Canelo, being a counterpuncher and kind of sitting waiting. So I think it's gonna be really interesting really interesting to see if Crawford comes out very aggressive, to kind of like sit in where Canelo expects him to be, or if we're gonna see like 2 counterpunchers kind of sit at it until it gets to a certain time and they just start unloading on each other. So we'll see. But like you said, Odan, the face off they had, they do look really similar in size. But how they carry themselves once they step into the ring is going to be totally different. So only time will tell, I guess, and we'll see Saturday.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think there's like a lot of speculations going around right now, like how much will Canelo weight on fight night? How much will Crawford weight on fight night? Would
Right.
he be weighing lower? Will he be weighing more? Well, this is the first time, once again, we see Crawford in this division. It's going to be his first time being in this division. He skipped middleweight, which is the weight of 160. His last fight was at 154, which was last year in August against Israel Madrimov. And the previous fight was against Earl Spence, as we remember, it was at 147. So it's very interesting how Crawford is willing to skip a division and go straight against like the guy that runs the division
Right.
for all the belts. So it's very interesting, and I think we're up for a good show.
No, I mean to this fight has been somewhat of a journey. If I can really quick, I guess following the announcement of the fight, they won a 3-city press tour to promote the fight. The first stop was in Riyadh on June 20th, followed by New York City on June 22nd, and the final stop was in Las Vegas on June 27th. At the kickoff of the press at Riyadh, Turkey Al-Sheikh, a Saudi promoter, he announced he was tired of the Tom and Jerry fights, so he announced that a knockout bonus will be implemented into future fights he promotes, starting with Alvarez and Crawford. How do you guys feel about that? A knockout bonus.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. It kind of lets fighters, well, obviously it incentivizes fighters to be a little more aggressive, look for the knockout. But these are two guys that already have made a lot of money in the sport, especially Canelo. So I don't know how incentivized that it will be for that bonus, but I think it's nice in that it'll give viewers a hope that both fighters are going to try to do a little something to get that bonus. But I think at this age, over 35 for both of the fighters, and at their weight, I think they're going to be a little more cautious. Like a knockout at this stage, especially from a strong fighter on the other side, could end your career. So I don't know how much they're going to put on the line to get this bonus, but I think they're both going to be a little more cautious. I don't think they're really going to run and gun from round one to try to catch this.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I agree. I think it's a good incentive to have like the knockout bonus because as a fan, it's something that we would all love to see. Someone like the other, at least whichever side. Everyone likes a knockout. Everyone likes seeing knockout videos. It's something that is very popular within like the boxing videos. So I think it's a very good incentive to provide at least that. Will they get it? We might not know until the fight night, but it's something good to know there's an incentive for a knockout going into the fight.
No, yeah. This promoter, I believe I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Al-Sheikh.
Yes.
He really wanted this fight, considering Canelo was about to go do a novelty fight with, I guess, media influencer turned professional boxer, Jake Paul. And I guess Al-Sheikh swooped in at the 11th hour with a 4-fight offer from Riyadh season worth an estimated $400 million that I'm pretty sure Canelo probably could not refuse.
That is crazy.
Yeah, step one of the deal was to become the undisputed super middleweight champion, again by beating William Skoll. Then the stage was set for this Saturday's showdown. And then also I like to add, in addition to the WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO world titles, the ring created an exclusive belt which cost upwards of $188,000 to make and will be given to the winner, according to Rick Reno of The Ring magazine. It is the most expensive belt ever created. On September 2nd, 2025, the WBC officially presented this commemorative belt, which will also be handed to the winner or whatever happens at the end of the bout. But yeah, I guess there's a reason why this is being touted as the fight of the century. Currently, both the fighters are ranked in the top 10 for many of the pound for pound lists that are out there, and this could probably determine the number one pound for pound fighter and I don't know, I guess in this modern generation of boxing. But I think we could dive in a little bit into each of the boxers' journey up until now. Is that okay with you guys, or do you guys have any other opening statements in regards to the build-up of the fight?
I'm good. Let's dive into it.
Yeah, I'm good. Honestly, I enjoy talking about boxing. Whatever conversation we're having about boxing, it's very enjoyable for me. I could talk
Okay.
all day about boxing.
All right. Well, like I said, I have a lot of notes that I would like to go through. At any point in
Yes.
time, you could jump in, okay?
Okie dokie.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Canelo Alvarez, he is the stronger and more powerful fighter, although he's recorded a knockout. He hasn't recorded a knockout since his TKO victory against Caleb Plant in 2021, which to me, by the way, was probably his last good fight. Alvarez has knocked down 4 of his last 5 opponents, however, bigger boxers than Crawford has ever fought. Some would say they are equal in size, as I mentioned earlier. Alvarez is a 4-division champion. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words here. Alvarez is a 4-division champion and 2-time undisputed super middleweight champion, and has held championships from light middleweight through light heavyweight. He is the only boxer in history to hold the undisputed super middleweight title and remains unbeaten at super middleweight. With a victory, he will add another future Hall of Famer to his already impressive resume. However, there's always got to be a but, right? There's always pros and cons. However, since losing a unanimous decision to Dmitry Bivol, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in an attempt to win a world title at light heavyweight in 2022, Canelo has opted for the path of least resistance, much to the jargon of many fight fans. Chagrin. I like jargon, but anyways.
It's a different word.
In his past 6 fights, he has beaten a 40-year-old Gennady Triple G Golovkin, who was fighting out of his weight class and on the edge of retirement, a severely undersized fighter, Jermell Charlo. I do remember that fight. That was not a good fight. 3 undeserving opponents, John Ryder, Jaime Munguia. I don't know if you could help me out there, Odan. And Edgar Berlanga. And a virtually unknown fighter, as I mentioned previously, William Skull. Every one of those fights ends in a unanimous decision for Canelo. He did everything in his power to avoid David Benavidez, who moved up to light heavyweight once he realized Canelo wouldn't fight him. What are you guys' opinions on Canelo at the moment going into this fight?
I'll go first.
Yes, please.
Sorry. Go ahead, Odan.
Because everything Danny says, it's like stuff that I would say. It's stuff that I agree with. But I think based on his like recent performance, we have seen him decline. I'm a huge Canelo fan, and like the facts are the facts. We have seen him decline. I feel as if, like Danny mentioned earlier, these are fighters that are already like on the older side of their career, and they're comfortable with just a win. Maybe when they were younger, they would have wars that which are entertaining, but now since they're older, boxing is a dangerous sport. In the end, they do put their bodies on the line, and they do risk their life entering the ring. They are more smarter with their punches, more selective, and I think they're both. Well, Canelo, I feel as if he's more comfortable with the decision. Seems like with his recent fights, like for example, the previous fight with Edgar Berlanga, not the one with William Skull, it seemed like it was like a sparring session. It seemed like Canelo held back. He did drop his opponent, but he could have done a little bit more. And it also seems like it was the same with Jaime Munguia. And in some interviews, Canelo did mention that he did held back when he fought against Jaime Munguia. But based on like the outcomes of the fights, he has had like less knockouts in the recent years, and it seems like he's just taking it like on cruise mode.
Yeah, I agree with Odan. Even Triple G, first fight into the second fight, both younger fighters at the time, but still, considered a little older in the realm of boxing. Those were electric fights.
Those are really good fights.
Both because both fighters, they had something to lose. Canelo was still on the up and up. I think with the chip on his shoulder, trying to show Golden Boy that they messed up by not keeping him, and like the split of the money, this and that, so on and so forth. But like Odan said, they're getting older. Boxing, like many sports, it's a young man sport. The older you get, you get wiser, but you lose strength. Every punch hurts a little bit more. Recovery takes a little longer. And I think Canelo kind of saw that on writing on the wall. And then he had that year where he fought like 4 fights within the same year at where he was like 32. So you see going up in age, like you can't have a year between fights anymore, or like 6 months, because you can only have so many fights left. One of them is either going to hurt you to retire you, or you're going to go out a hero. I think Canelo is trying to retire upward. Speculation, but I think if he wins this fight, if you're going to defeat an undefeated fighter who skipped a weight class to get up to you, I don't know how much he has left in the tank, but he could be retiring. I don't know. Like, if he's avoiding Benavides, what else is left for him in the weight class? I think he'd rather retire with all the belts with him and then vacate them than to pick a fight where he, thinks, 50-50, 60's on my side. If I'm feeling really good that day, 60-40. And then for whatever reason, if he has an off day, he loses the fight. And then he retires unceremoniously after a loss. I think he'd rather retire as a victor. So we'll see. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting fight. Like Rob said, could be fight of the century. I agree with Odan on that. Especially if it goes the distance. If we see both fighters drop, at least for a little bit, I think this could definitely be fight of the century, fight of the decade. Capture the hearts of generations. So we'll see what it is. But Canelo's had a very interesting route up, being a counterpuncher for the whole time. And then his little spurt into light heavyweight, like similar to like Adesanya in UFC, was not successful. But I think that was like the last of his I don't know, I guess his courage into venturing out to see where he can get a little bit more. But it was unsuccessful, so it seems like he's going to stick to super middleweight. And I am speculating that he may retire if he wins this, because I don't know what's left for him in this division, and what's left in the thing for him to see if he fights at like 36. So, but I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. In an interview, Canelo did say that he will be staying at 168. I think he did test the water at 175, and in the end, well, there's people who are bigger naturally at that weight class, and in the end, we gotta give him his props. He did challenge himself. He was successful the first time he moved up, against Sergey Kovalev. But this time when he went up against Bivol, it wasn't the same outcome or the results he wanted. But I do think this fight, what makes it interesting, there's just so many things that could change your opinion on who's gonna win, or there's just so many things that are going on into the fight. So it's very interesting how it's gonna plan out. For example, one thing that people mention often is how Crawford, he's older. I believe he's 38, if I'm not mistaken, and Canelo just turned 35. However, in this year in October, Canelo will be he'll be 20 years as a pro boxer. He'll be turning 20 years as a pro boxer. So just like Danny mentioned, like in the end, Canelo has been in more fights. He typically fights like twice a year, where in Crawford, he tends to fight once a year. His last fight was last year in August, which now has been more than a year. So it's very interesting. Canelo has fought more, but Crawford has fought less. Crawford's the older guy, but maybe Canelo has more miles in the tank or less miles in the tank. So there's just so many scenarios or so many factors going into this fight that like it could really go either way. I think realistically, like just how these fighters are, they're not fighters that are taken like lightly. They're fighters that have both been committed to like the sport since they were kids, and this is like the outcome of like their commitment. They're at the biggest stage, the biggest show that's gonna happen probably in boxing this year, and it's just a great fight that I look forward to.
Okay, I would like to jump in and comment on both you guys' statements because they're very similar. I would like to point out Canelo will probably not retire after this, considering they're paying him $400 million to compete in 4 fights.
Oh, right. He's on a fight contract.
So
Right.
this is going to be the
Fight
second
2.
fight. Yes,
Yeah.
fight 2. And my second comment to why this fight is very interesting for Canelo is something that I've just kind of, like I said, I'm a very novice to combat sports, but I know this was Canelo in particularly. I don't think no one really fears him anymore because everyone knows he's the best, and they kind of go out there and hope and pray that they might have a chance. But also, who else can go up against Canelo? Like, there hasn't really been any storied boxer to come out of anywhere, in my opinion, where people are like, "Oh, look at this guy! Like, this guy's gonna, he's gonna give it to him." Like, all these people that we've just named, all these people that, like, literally the one William Scott. Who the fuck is that? Like, no, for real.
Damn.
As like a
Like that,
casual
bro.
boxing person, come on.
Bro. That's
Yeah,
true. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that
No,
is
yeah.
either. They paid him a bag and he fought this guy. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't think he's retiring.
Regarding your first comment, yeah, Canelo recently came out in an interview with CNN, and he clarified that he's planning to retire at the age of 37. So he does see himself fighting
Wow,
for
2 more years.
Yes. However, we don't know if that could change. What if Crawford ends up winning
Yeah,
and
dang.
he gives them the same outcome that Spence received? And
Right.
Crawford has also, and I think this goes for both sides, but Crawford has also fought people, and after fighting Crawford, they ended up retiring. Like,
Mhm.
well, I wouldn't say Errol Spence retired since he hasn't officially retired, but we haven't seen him fight ever since. Sean Porter did retire after facing Crawford, so it's very interesting depending on like the outcome. I think if it's like a one-sided fight from Crawford, then I think every boxer does question themselves like, do I still, especially in Canelo's position, he has made so much money.
Right.
So he's like in a position where at this point it's just for like the love of the sport, I would say, and also, well, obviously for the money as well. But in reality, does he still have to keep on fighting, or could he retire if he would like at this point in time?
Right. Yeah,
That's-
I think you're absolutely correct, right? On that. Alvarez is financially one of the most successful boxers that we've seen since Oscar, starting his own promotion and all this other stuff. Like,
I would have said
financially,
Mayweather.
he's sorry. What is it?
I was gonna say you should have said Mayweather.
Okay, I mean, come on. I feel like Mayweather made his money, and then as he left the sport, his promotion did not do as well as Oscar. Come on, let's be honest, Rob. Let's
I
all
agree.
be honest here.
He goes by
When you
Money
look at the
Mayweather.
ring, what promotion is on the ring 90% of the time?
What?
On the floor, it
Tell me.
says Golden Boy.
Tell me, because I don't know.
Come on, like, if we're just talking financially, and individually, Canelo sponsorships and all that stuff, Mayweather did a lot, as well. But I think for the eyes of this generation, for young kids, this upcoming generation, Canelo is the most successful boxer that you can name, right? Who's active in the sport right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And active in the sport for the last like 10 years almost, 10, 15 years. So, like Odan said, like, if you get, God forbid he gets hurt in this fight or something happens, like, will he really be pushing to fight another 2 years? Robbie said it's only 2 more fights, but if you really think about it, in the next 2 years, is it a fight a year? If he gets hurt, he'll likely take over a year to recover at this age, at 35, and get back into fighting shape. So then the next 2 fights would have to come, within a 12-month period.
Yeah.
And then that'll be 36 pushing 37. I mean, that's crazy. I think
40
that's
years
crazy to
old.
me. Not to date myself, but as a 30s or excuse me, as a 27-year-old who sometimes I get out of bed and my back hurts. Like, these athletes are at the top of their class. But I think there's so much on the line. But I think there's a little bit more on the line for Crawford, proving himself. He's a little older. Um, you know, he hasn't made as much money as Canelo, but if he's able to take Canelo out, at this level, skipping a weight class, going through everything to get to here, I think he has much more to gain, and Canelo has a little more to lose. Well, I
I agree.
mean, other than money and stuff, he could just lose face a little bit. But both fighters have a little bit into it. I expect Crawford, we'll jump into his journey here in a little bit, but I expect Crawford to come out a little bit more aggressive. But then again, it's tough because as Odan said, that's kind of playing into the fighting styles that both fighters have found success in. If Crawford's a little more aggressive, Canelo will just sit back into the style that he's comfortable with. Dancing around, counterpunching here and there, letting the opponent tire themselves out a little bit, sending flurries their way if he's able to work the body and such. It's such an interesting match of fighting styles. I think that is perfect for a fight that can end in everyone being asleep because both fighters are just way too cautious of the other fighter at their age and fighting at this top level, or one of them going out in a bag. You know what I mean? There's an air of anything can happen with this fight that I think that is having us talk about. Is this the fight of the century? Where there's so many factors, so many little things in between that can really push this fight to be either incredibly great or a snooze fest. And I think that's why this fight is going to be I think this fight is likely going to break some viewing records because it is one of the biggest fights and it's near the end of the year. And it's not inside of a holiday season and whatnot. So likely I think this is going to break some viewership. Whoa,
slow your roll there. It is on a holiday. Kind of.
What the hell's what's on the 13th?
No, it's around Mexican Independence Day.
Oh, really? Wait. When is that? The 15th?
No, I think it just passed, but it's around the same time.
Come on. I believe it's the 16th.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Oh my God, 3 days. It's not even the same time.
Hey man,
relax.
Mexicans like to drink.
On.
Yeah, it's on the 16th. So Canelo typically likes to fight during Mexican Independence Weekend, even though it's 3 days
Cinco
after.
de Mayo, yeah.
Right.
On both days, but
yeah.
But I do agree with Danny, and I think I agree with 90% of what he's saying. Yeah, I think Canelo has more to lose than Crawford. I think Canelo is the favorite. I haven't seen the odds yet. I don't want to look at them yet until maybe fight day. But Canelo is expected to win. He's obviously the one who's the king in that division. He's the champion. He's the guy that's not moving up in weight class to fight the smaller guy, weight-wise. But yeah, I think Crawford, if he wins, he's going to be on top of the world. He's going to be considered one of the best. But if Canelo wins, do you guys think he will be considered a person? Will he get more credit, or will he get excuses being made towards him, oh, you were expected to win, you fought another guy, you had to make the smaller guy move? Or will he receive the credit he deserves, or will he not?
I mean, I think so, considering Crawford is undefeated. I don't know. What do you think, Danny?
Right. That's so interesting. You frame it that way, Alon, because I can see the night of Canelo wins, 12 articles come out. Canelo takes out aging boxer Terrence Crawford, and then you scroll through. It says moved up a weight class, and I can see it. I can already see it. But yeah, you know what? I think in general, Canelo will be just seen as cementing his spot in the division. Although Terrence Crawford is going to move up, he is an older fighter. And I definitely think, we're talking about weights, Odan, I think at weigh-in, Terrence Crawford is not going to be 168. I think he's going to be much lighter. I think it's much harder for him to hold that weight.
Yes.
Canelo is either going to be right at 168, maybe a little bit lighter. I mean, he could go heavier. He's so comfortable around that weight. He could go heavier just to add a little bit of weight to his punches, but I don't see him really going much past 168. But I think it's definitely going to be a little bit more of a challenge for Crawford. I would be really surprised if the narrative was to swing so negative against Canelo after the fight. But I think because this fight is a little bit more anticipated, I think those bigger fights, if there's not a lot of trash talk or animosity between the fighters, I think the headlines and the news stories around them end up being a little more neutral. So unless something crazy happens in the ring where Canelo knocks him out and Terence Crawford looks absolutely horrible for whatever reason, I think it's going to be, pretty neutral, just saying whoever won the fight and whatever. And then maybe you'll get like here or there, a Twitter conversation or like a smaller outlet saying that, Canelo beat up on an older fighter. They're not that far in age. Maybe they'll bring up that Terence Crawford skipped the weight class, but I think it'll be quite neutral overall.
Speaking of this Crawford guy, is it right if I could give you guys this quick little synopsis I have here for y'all?
Yes, thank you. Sorry, we got carried away.
Now you're good. So Terence Crawford, as we mentioned, is moving up 2 weight classes from the 154-pound super welterweight division to the 168-pound super middleweight division. By contrast, Alvarez has fought as a super middleweight in 10 of his last 12 fights, and the other 2 were contested at the 175-pound light heavyweight division. Not to mention Crawford will be facing the undisputed world super middleweight champion. Crawford, a 4-division champion himself, has held titles from lightweight through light middleweight and was the undisputed champion at light welterweight and welterweight. With a victory this Saturday, Crawford would make history as the first male boxer to become a 3-division undisputed champion in the 4 belts era, in quotations. He would also become the first boxer to hold the Ring Magazine belt in 4 different weight classes, one of only 6 male fighters in history to capture titles in 5 divisions, and one of just 3 to claim the lineal championship in 4 weight classes. Meanwhile, Crawford has been lurking since his one-sided thumping of Earl Spence Jr. in 2023 to become undisputed welterweight champion. Crawford told ESPN he initially didn't have Canelo on his radar because of their size difference, but his insatiable appetite for overcoming adversity led him to pursue the fight last year. Canelo initially dismissed a fight with Crawford, suggesting he had nothing to gain by taking on the much smaller 2-division undisputed champion. So, gentlemen, does that change your guys' opinion on the fight currently? Before we get to predictions?
I'll let you go ahead, Odan, but I'm going to say nope.
I agree. I think we pretty much know how this is going heading into the fight, so I don't think our opinions are changed.
I mean, if I could get my 2 cents in real quick as a novice to the sport, I think if Crawford were to get the dub on Canelo, I feel like people might lose their shit. Like, they won't believe it, considering that, Crawford is a little bit older. Canelo has... I think you guys said that he has little to lose. I think he has little to lose in comparison to Crawford, but a lot to lose personally.
Right. I think he has little to lose financially, but he loses a lot of face. Losing to a fighter who skipped a division, coming up to his weight class. And I think especially if the fight is decided by knockout, I think that would be a huge blow to Canelo.
Like,
if someone skips a weight class, goes up, knocks you out, after he, I can't even remember the last time that he was truly hurt and dropped. I think that would be a huge, immense blow to not just Canelo, but the whole camp. I don't know if it goes as far as like to change the trajectory of like a career, if it's going to be like that big of a thing. But I mean, Crawford, obviously a well-decorated fighter, but I think skipping a division and moving up in weight class is just it's really tough.
It's very extreme a little bit.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean, not that
it's
it's never been done before, but it's very difficult.
right. Yeah, and I think it's quite rare to see a fighter who moves up and is immediately successful and holds success in that weight class. So we'll see. Maybe he can go up, steal the belts, and then like immediately lose his next fight, or vacate everything and go back.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, he literally is already saying like he wants the challenge. He loves the adversity. So, and on top of that, there's like basically 2 bounties out there on hitting your opponent as hard as you can. I mean, that's the sport, but like there's
Yes.
a lot of incentives for Crawford to chase Canelo, to hunt this fight down and get the W. Either it being knockout, referee stoppage, or I guess by dumb luck, by decision. I feel like the ball is in Crawford's court here. Sorry, different podcast episode, but you guys go over me.
No, yeah. I think if anyone can do it, it's Crawford. That's how special of a fighter he is. However, like based on like the history, when an elite smaller fighter faces like an elite bigger fighter, the chances are that the elite bigger fighter always tends to win. That's just how like history like has taught us. We have seen a fewer times where the smaller guy who's elite faces the bigger guy who's also elite, moves up in weight class and is successful. Like for example, on one example we have seen where it has worked out in the favor of the smaller guy is when Manny Pacquiao moved up in weight class to fade Oscar De La Hoya. So that's one of the few times, but based off the history, it doesn't really happen that often. And I don't want to get into the predictions yet, but yeah, I just wanted to like comment that we don't see it as often.
I was gonna say my example. I mean, not completely the same, but in the underdog example, Andy Ruiz Jr. beating what was his name, Anthony Joshua in 2019.
Hmm.
Like, I feel like it's gonna be not as impactful like that, but it's gonna be nearly like that. Like, no one's gonna be able to believe that Crawford beat Canelo. Okay, like how you said, it just doesn't happen. You don't see a nobody or the lesser known fighter or the guy coming out of nowhere, winning all the time.
Let's not call Crawford someone coming out of nowhere, Rob.
No, yeah, I know, but I'm saying as an underdog,
absolutely.
as an underdog.
I
As
think,
an
I think you're
underdog.
right.
No, as an
I think
underdog.
you're right in, I don't think he's as big of an underdog as Andy Ruiz was, but
yeah.
I think it'll definitely surprise a lot of people.
Well, he's saying he's an underdog. He likes that adversity. You don't see that if you're not an underdog.
Yeah,
Right.
Crawford, technically he is the underdog going into this fight, but he's not the underdog by like a huge margin. And it's
No,
like
yeah.
one of the recent fights where Canelo hasn't been like the highly favorite. Yeah, Canelo's still the favorite, like the odds are in favor of Canelo to win the fight, but it's not by a huge margin. Once again, I haven't seen it, but I could imagine it's not by a huge margin. Like when we saw him face against Edgar Berlanga, I believe the odds were like at negative 1,400. But knowing how Crawford is, Crawford obviously the analysts do put him as the as the non-favorite since he is the one that's moving up into unknown territory. But for him being like as an underdog in comparison to Andy Ruiz, I think there's not such a similar comparison since we do know who Crawford is, and many of us did not know who Andy Ruiz was until he beat Anthony Joshua.
No, like I said, I was just using as a very light example, not the best example, but like it's not there,
Right.
but it's and as an underdog, yes, it's there. But yeah, gentlemen, we have reached the point of the show. Unless anyone has any other closing comments about the bout, I think we're ready
Let's hit
for
the predictions, bro.
Yeah, so we could do
Let's
predictions
get to it.
and in like 10 words, say why you have picked your prediction. Odan, we'll start with you as you are our guest, our interviewee for today. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. I'll try not to say it in many words as I do tend to get carried away. I do think Canelo's gonna win by decision. I feel as if how Danny has pretty much mentioned it, it's probably gonna be like the first 3, 4 rounds in Crawford's favor, but once he feels Canelo's power, once like the weight factors tends to kick in for Crawford, he is going to slow down, and it's just going to be another sparring session resulting in Canelo winning by unanimous decision.
All right. I see you. Danny, I will give it to you.
I will also take Canelo by decision. I think, I hope it goes a little further. I hope, maybe let's go for 6 rounds. I do think we will see a knockdown on one side. I hope just for the sake of it, maybe it's both fighters getting knocked down, but I think, Crawford has a high chance of getting knocked down, moving up in the division, if he gets gas, especially near the end. Or if he's a little overzealous in the beginning, a little too aggressive, and not taking into consideration the power of Canelo's counter punches. I think we might see a knockdown, but I'll take Canelo by decision.
All right, I guess it comes down to me, and I guess if this was like ESPN or something, we would have one of you guys pick one guy, and I would have to pick the other guy.
He would be Crawford by knockout, huh?
Nah, I'll do Crawford, but by decision as well.
Oh, okay.
Just to mix
Mr.
it up.
Contrarian.
He I don't know, Crawford. He convinced me with his very inspiring words. But I wouldn't be surprised if either fighter gets a TKO in this.
Nice, and that leads to my next question. If there's a knockout, what is your prediction? Who will get the knockout and at what round?
I think it's going to be Canelo in the 8th.
The 8th?
Yes.
Ooh, that's...
Yeah, so let's go in reverse. Let me think about this. I think... Damn. Dude, take that off. Oh, man. Yeah, you know what? To carry Robert's contrarian energy, I will take Crawford knockout. It'd have to be early. I'll take Crawford knockout in the 2nd. Why not?
Oh, I could see it happening.
I could see it.
I would like to clarify when I say, are you guys saying knockout like he gets knocked down and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
No. I'm saying
or like referee stoppage knockout.
I'm saying knockout, clear knockout, referee stoppage.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any other closing words before we move on?
If there was a knockout, who would it be in what round?
I think, if I'm being generous, Canelo like in the 11th round. I do feel as if he would like to make it as entertaining, and he'll probably do it towards the end if it does happen. Do I see it happening? Probably not. But in an interview with CNN, Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's trainer, he said that they are going to get the knockout, and he could guarantee it. Those are not my words. Those are his words. Please don't take my words as a form of like source to bet. Please, if you are going to do that, do it responsibly. But
right. If you guys are using this podcast as a source of betting knowledge, you're a fool. Come on, let's be honest.
We're only here for fun. And remember, Odan, we're on like 5 different platforms. No, 5 to 10 different platforms. So, yeah. Many people will hear this.
But yeah, once again, Eddie Reynoso, Canelo's trainer, said that they will be getting the knockout, that he's confident they will get the knockout. Will we see it? Who knows? Only time will tell.
Alrighty then. That's mostly it for our preview of this fight. We are winding down on our time, but are you guys good on time? Are we good continuing this interview, this podcast here? Alrighty then. Yeah, those are our predictions for this weekend's fight. As I mentioned before, Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, September 13th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. PDT. To 5 p.m. PDT, approximately 11:30 p.m. Eastern for main event walkouts to the ring, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the walkouts. The fight will be taking place from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, home of the Las Vegas Raiders. You can watch and stream the fight on Netflix. And yeah, there will also be a undercard as well. But yeah, we're going to move on now. Like I said, we've known Odan for a pretty long time now. I've known him since 4th grade.
Couple years.
Yeah, a couple years. Danny, I know you've known him since
preschool.
Yeah, preschool. But yeah, we asked Odan to come on here because he's asked to be on here multiple times. If you've gotten this far, as you've heard, he's a big boxing head. But yeah, I don't know I'm asking him right now in a bit. He started a TikTok page, OJC Boxing, where he reposts or comments on different boxing events. So I guess I don't know. Would you want to talk about Odan? You explain what you do for funds on TikTok.
Yeah, so my page is still growing. So as of right now, I just kind of like upload like clips, interviews, post-fight interviews, like pretty much anything boxing related. Like I do have a vision where I want to take like my boxing page, but as of right now, I just like strictly like just upload clips, reactions, and stuff like that. Not my reactions, but other professionals, legends, Hall of Famers, anything, pretty much anything boxing related, whether it's like a face-off or an interview or just them in general, which if I find it like that would probably be entertaining for someone viewing, then I'll upload it. But as of right now, there's still not like a direction which I'm planning to take hopefully soon on how like I would establish my boxing page as it grows. So if anyone's interested, just give me a follow if you wouldn't mind, and join me in my journey. Thank you.
It's OJC Boxing. Get it while
That
it's
is
hot.
correct.
On TikTok.
Hop on the train now, because it's leaving the station.
No, yeah, he has. Well, I remember when he had first told me, he's like, "Hey, dude, I got like a boxing page. Follow me on TikTok." I was like, "All right, let me see." This one has fucking 22,000 followers and 2.3 million likes. Like, what the fuck? Just out of nowhere.
He knows what he's doing.
No, he does know what he's doing.
You know, over the our conversation, he's a boxing encyclopedia. He's in the sport. He loves it. And boxing is very much a story sport, and I can see that you love that part of it, Odan. Pre-fights, interviews, comments here and there. You take all of it, and it's a great page to learn about fights. Watch the reactions and stuff as it comes in. So if you're in the boxing world, get in on it.
Oh yeah. I guess I have some questions for you, Odan.
Yes.
What made you want to make this account in the first place? Like, I know it's TikTok. Like, things get pretty popular on there. But like, what made you want to do this?
I think just like the passion for the sport, the love of the sport, like it's something that I've always wanted to like share with the world. I see some clips that maybe not might be as accessible to others, and I think TikTok is like a platform where many clips get shared, many interview stories, and just being in a position where I get to share like these clips that maybe people might not even click on like different sources. It's something that like I think it's very like awesome to share because it just brings more awareness like to the sport, and it just could potentially like bring another fan to like the sport. And I think that's like ultimately my goal, is just drawing more people to the sport of boxing.
But like, can you tell us like what's like your favorite thing about the sport? Like about boxing? Is just when they beat the crap at each other, like the training, the storylines, like what's like the one thing that you love about the sport?
I think that's a good question. I don't think it's like one thing in particularly. What made me get interested in the sport, as you know, Robert, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you remember, but when we were both like in fourth grade, we would talk about wrestling a lot.
Yeah,
And
I do
like,
remember that.
yeah, and like wrestling obviously has like a story like you kind of have to follow.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
just like, however, as you get older, you do know, as everyone knows nowadays, wrestling is like predetermined. And that's something that like as I got older, like I still find it entertaining, but at the same time, you're kind of like, it's like, okay, it's like predetermined. Well, I think what's interesting about boxing, that anything can happen. We've seen where there's boxers who are set up for greatness. However, one fight, one punch changes it all, and then we never hear from them. So I think just like the unpredictability, like you don't know what's gonna happen until it happens. Like, yeah, there's statistics, there's like many things that could happen, based on like the odds and everything, like going into the fight, but then something completely could happen during the fight night. So I think just like the anticipation of not knowing what's gonna happen until you see it happen.
Oh, okay, yeah, I do like that because, like I said, like when we're doing the preview, I feel like what the sport is missing right now is a lot of good storylines or a lot of competitive people that have great stories to follow. But yeah, that's really cool because yeah, when like, and you were talking about how you're giving access to people who don't usually watch the sport, like myself. Like I really love that because I'm just like, oh shit, like that's crazy. Like did he say that? Like I wouldn't know like if you weren't posting stuff or if anyone was really talking about it. So yeah, I really do appreciate that. I would say were you a little shocked that your account kind of like blew up a little bit?
Yes, I was because I did like just started like I didn't tell anyone that I was gonna like not that many people know. I think I recently just told like my family members like, hey, like I have a TikTok where I just upload. So I just started uploading clips. I really didn't tell anyone at all. Like it's just been generated naturally, and like just people who have been scrolling on TikTok have been the ones who have followed me. So I was just surprised that like I'm not too sure, to be quite honest, how long I've had the page, but I believe last year was the year where my page like grew the most. And I was just surprised. I honestly was just doing it just for like the love of the sport. I didn't expect it to grow this big and like in this amount of time. So overall, like I've just been surprised how like easily it is to like grow a social media page if you just are constant with your uploading. And like you never know like um who like could have reached, who your videos could reach out like in the world. So it's always interesting just how much growth you could see based on like the effort you put in.
Now, I want to ask, like, how and when did you notice that you're like, oh, damn, like I have a lot of likes on this video, or did people just start following you out of nowhere? Like, how did that work out?
I think just videos that I've posted that I've gotten like clips from. Like I don't have my TikTok notifications on because, as you can imagine, like a page that uploads like clips, like there's like a lot of people who follow you. There's a lot of people who don't follow you, but they still like your video and like your notifications blew up. So I think I had like 200 followers at the time, where I posted like a video. I'm not too sure which video. I think it was like a Canelo face-off video, where in the beginning, like I think it was like the first 2 3 hours it had no type of like engagement. So then I slept it off, and then the next day I woke up and the engagement was like over 100,000 views, and then like it just kept on like reaching out to more people. Within the next 30 minutes it was at 200, and eventually like the video grew to more than like a million likes. No, a million views, sorry about that, a million views and like a couple 100,000 likes. And I think that's just what really, like, all it takes is one video for it to like blow up, and then people start following you. Like you start getting pushed more out there based on like how TikTok works. Like if TikTok recognizes you like as a sports page, then they'll start recommending it more to like people who are into sports. And yeah, I think it just grows from there. But it was like one video of Canelo where many people started like commenting and engaging and stuff like that.
Now I'm
That's
looking
the
at your
power of TikTok.
yo for real. I'm looking at your thing right now. So your pinned videos are 1.9 million views, 3.8 million views, and 3.2 million views. Dude, that is insane. We could never. Can you give us some tips, bro?
He's a master of the craft. You gotta
Dude, for
respect
real.
that.
I think there's like a little bit like of like that like we could talk about like after, just to not make like the
Right.
conversation long. But there's just like some stuff that you could like you learn as you go. But for the most part, everything is just kind of like you learn as you go type of situation. But in the end, I think it's just TikTok. We're living in a time where we have like applications where like your videos get pushed out there more organically in comparison to like other applications um like let's just say, like, not to get off topic, but the way kind of YouTube works, and
Right.
up until recent times, it's like only established YouTubers where like their content was pushed out there. So you kind of needed to have like some sort of fan base. But with TikTok, what I like about TikTok is that, like as I mentioned, I didn't share with anyone, and like just organically, people who are on the application, my videos were like put on their page, and that's where they got to engage and like follow and support.
Yeah, I think that really is the power of TikTok, in that it, obviously if you follow people, their posts still show up on your thing, but um it really is based on topic, and it'll push videos that uh are more popular, that engage viewers and stuff. That so TikTok, I think, is just that the app that you can blow up on and gain a following, and then you can move on to
Yes.
other avenues and such. Like I hope that you're gonna do with on. Blow up on
Mhm.
TikTok, and then you won't outgrow it and leave, but you'll be able to branch out into different avenues. Once you have an established base, YouTube and stuff. Other things
Mhm.
that might give you more opportunities and such. In like different forms of content, but yeah, TikTok really is that amazing app that can take somebody who's never done anything before and put them on the national news in 12 hours. It really is an amazing app in
No,
that
yeah.
Oh,
way.
yes.
I want to ask, I guess, more boxing related question. Who are your favorite boxers? Like, who did you grow up liking? Like, besides, like obviously if you like boxing, like who did you idolize?
Growing up, when like I recently didn't get into boxing, I would say until like 2020, I would consider myself like as a casual boxer. I've always liked Oscar De La Hoya, but as I've gotten older, like Canelo has been like one of my favorite boxers. I would say he's currently my favorite boxer. And fortunately, last year I got to experience it live, and it's just being
Wow.
there in person. I went to the Edgar Berlanga fight and the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, so
Oh,
about a
okay.
year ago. And just being there in person, it's way different. You just can't describe like the feeling, like the energy. Like there is just like an experience that I hope everyone gets to experience because it's just like um it's an amazing experience. Like it's something that I've been to like other boxing events, but nothing has been at that level. Nothing compares to like when Canelo fights, like
Right.
when it's Canelo fight night. But I would say Canelo's my favorite boxer right now. I do have other boxers that are like probably like my second and my third favorite. Um, One that I would like to mention is Bam Rodriguez. He does fight at a lower weight class. He is currently the unified champion at 115. He's a fighter that um, is destined to be great. I think he's a very great fighter. Not that many people know of him since he does fight in the lower class, but he's a fighter that I would like for the viewers to keep out an eye for since he is a fighter that's going to be great.
Oh, okay, that's
You
cool. I
heard it
mean,
here first. Follow Bam. Odan's words, he's going to be a star.
yo, for
Yes.
real. No, I'm glad. No, keep doing that because I want to hear about the younger people because like we just mentioned, we just talked about two really old boxers. Like, who's next? Who's the next big name coming from the bottom, from the trenches?
No, yeah, and that's one thing that we are gonna see in this undercard. I know we kind of didn't really talk about the undercard, but as of right now, I think the next like that, and that's a question that gets asked a lot. Like Canelo, if he does retire in 2 years, who's going to be the next Canelo? Will there be another next Canelo? And a fighter that has been mentioned a lot by his team, which they're trying to push out, is the Olympian medalist from Mexico. I can't remember his name on the top of my um I know his name, but for some reason like sometimes when you're just talking
Right.
you can't just remember.
When you want it the most, it escapes you.
Yeah. Let me see if I could Google it fast.
No, yeah, you're good, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that it's Olympian. When was the last time there was
There you go.
a known
That's the name.
Olympian? All right, what's his name?
So his name is Marco Verde. I believe I'm not too sure if he's training under um, Team Canelo, but he is managed by Eddie Reynoso, which is Canelo's trainer.
Mm.
So he's a fighter that, as of right now, is being pushed to be like the next Canelo. I'm sure by the time if he does make it to that level, and if he does, which we hope he does, he's gonna be his own self. I don't think he'll be another Canelo, but he'll be another great person in boxing.
Bro, he's 23 years old
What a young man.
from Mazatlan, Mexico, and he's 5'11".
Dang, tall guy.
No, yeah, for real. He won a silver medal apparently.
Awesome.
But that's cool that you're keeping deets on who's coming from the trenches. I guess back to your social media a bit. You kind of mentioned it when you introduced yourself. Do you ever see? I mean, if it ever kind of gets out of hand in a good way, do you ever see yourself, expanding out to other platforms like doing Instagram? I think you have an Instagram, as well, Instagram or doing like YouTube boxing videos. Oh, also, have you ever shown your face? I know we're audio only, but have you shown your face on your social media stuff?
I haven't yet on my social media. It's a secret. I'm just kidding. It's not a secret, but
Bro, you better
I just
get a fresh cut, bro.
Y'all be
You gotta come on.
shocked
Trust
at
me.
how handsome this man is.
Trust me, I learned the hard way. You better get a fresh cut because you don't want to be looking at the same video 20 times to make sure it looks good and like your shit's all fucked up. Trust me.
no, uh, No, yeah, and please, the comment that Danny just made, please disregard that comment. Don't have high expectations, or else you'll be disappointed. Let's just pretend like that comment wasn't made.
Oh,
I don't want anyone disappointed after this.
Well,
Allah, please.
No, but I do
He's too
plan on
modest.
expanding. I do plan on expanding. I know I took like half the year off, and I'm back, and like the videos have been getting engagement. And I think that's what pushes one to like keep going. Is once they see like that their video gets like engagement, it gets likes, it gets comments, and it's just like it's very interesting. Once it gets engagement, like it just gives you like that extra motivation. But I do plan. Hopefully, I can start soon expanding to other social medias. I know I do have an Instagram page, but I hardly upload on that page. But hopefully, that's the goal. Venturing, and I'm open. I'm open to growing the page and see where it goes. The sky's the limit.
hey man, look, if you need help doing a podcast or you just want to hop on somewhere just to talk, you already know who to hit up right now.
No, yeah, 100%. If I ever get to be in a position where I interview a boxer, I know who to reach out to.
Rambling run
Well,
off.
we out of our depth.
Yo,
Yes,
for
sir.
real.
We're definitely out of. Odan, you're the number one guy that should be there interviewing. I don't think you should call anyone else except for your parents.
No, no, you guys are the people who will be the first to be called.
Oh man, Rob will be the camera guy, and I'll be holding the boomstick for the microphone. That's all we'll be doing.
Dude, that would be
You're the
hilarious.
boxing guy, Odan.
Hey, I would like to point out I have a little bit of journalism experience, but I think if I were to interview like a high-ranking boxer, I'd be like, dude, what am I doing here?
Yeah,
I think-
really, I'd be the same.
Side comment, I think you guys are very great hosts. I like how like everything is going. So I think if you guys, when you guys get to that level, I think you guys are gonna do a very great job.
I mean,
I'm
we're
confident.
we're still trying to get to your level, bro.
Bro, really, we are. If you're Odan, you have us blushing, but you're doing much better than we are.
No, yeah, there's a few things we're trying to work out. That's why we haven't done an episode in a while. But yeah, I mean, we're glad that you were available. I mean, actually, props to Danny because this was I brought up the idea, but this was Danny's idea to do this now. By the way, so
Yes, before the biggest fight of the year, we had to get Odan on. We had to get the guy on.
No, thank
Come
you,
on,
thank you.
Robert.
because it was either gonna be before or after. And I was like, either or
Why
works.
are we
but,
not gonna do it before?
well, what if he wasn't available?
Yeah,
we do
of course, scheduling is tough,
a
but,
reaction video.
if possible, why not do it? When it's timely.
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
of course. I was gonna
That's
be available for Rambling Runoff.
That's the
Oh,
name of the
come
game.
on, Odan. And we red in the face.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have anything else for him, Danny. I think I already asked him all my questions. Do you have anything else to ask?
I think you might have covered everything except for his social security number.
Dude, for
Odan, I want to
real.
thank you for coming on. Can't wait to have you back. The best guest that we've ever had on. The most talkative for sure. Not a bad thing. Most knowledgeable, definitely. You definitely outclassed, all of our other guests ever. But you really do have a wealth of knowledge in boxing, and we really appreciate having your perspective on this. Yeah, thank you for coming on.
No, thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys, and it's always a great time. I don't even know what time it is now, but it just went
I
by
know.
fast, and I know we could keep on talking and talking
Yeah,
and
let's do
talking.
another
but-
3 hours. Why not?
No, let's
No.
not do that. Even though I like doing this, but I do not want to do 3 hours.
Oh, come on,
One
right?
thing I would like to comment is just to the viewers, like I hope you guys enjoyed like watching, hearing wherever you're listening to this, and just know that these two people are great people who are very knowledgeable, very skilled at what they do, and they're just gonna keep on growing, and I just can't wait to see them grow and take it to the next level, which is something that I look forward to.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot, for real.
Yeah, thank you, Milan.
But I guess before we let you go, Odan, where can the people find you on your social medias or wherever?
Yeah, so right now, just follow my page on TikTok and send me a message. I do have my messages open, so just send me a message if you're coming from Rambling Runoff, and yeah, I'll make sure to share this on my TikTok page, just so more people can listen to this and they're able to enjoy such a great show.
Yes, OJC Boxing, by the way.
OJC
Thank you,
boxing.
thank you.
Get it while it's hot, before it hits the moon.
Yeah. But yeah, that's everything for me. Danny, ready to, what is it? Put a candle, light this candle.
Well, yeah, that was, you almost went in a weird direction with that. Yeah, I thought you were saying some words that would have ended this podcast forever. Yeah, let's take it out, Rob. Take us home.
Thank you for listening to Rambling Runoff. One of our first podium show, I think our first podium show of the year, our Canelo Terrence Crawford preview. If you're listening on Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, thank you for listening. Leave a like or follow us if you are able to. Oh my gosh, I'm tired already. If you want to hear more from us on social media, hit us up on Twitter, aka X, at Rambling Runoff. Hit us up on Instagram as well, and we're also on TikTok where we post sometimes, like Odan does periodically. But yeah, I've been your host Robert Rios, for my co-host Danny Tan, for our guest Odan Contreras. We will see you next time. Bye.
Peace.